Welcome to the Color of Influence podcast, where you will hear stories from amazing people of color from around the world, from social media, and right here in our communities. Their stories will inspire you, encourage you, and motivate you. I am your host, Aisha Morgan, and let's meet today's guest. On episode 10 of Conversations with a Black Girl Blogger, I sat down with Tabitha to discuss being a single mother to a child on the autism spectrum. During her episode, we talked about how a book called It's All About the Re helped her reclaim herself. And today we are blessed to have the author of that book on the podcast. She is not only an author, she's also a certified doula and a certified womb practitioner. So without further ado, let's meet the Newark, New Jersey native, Dira Cox. All right, everybody. So we are here with a very special guest today. If you remember from the episode that I did with Tabitha about her son on the autism spectrum, she talked about a workbook that she had called All About the Re. And a few of you asked me about this book. And I sent you to the writer's Instagram page. I linked the page also on her episode notes from Tabitha's episode. And right now, we have the author of the book, All About the Re, Dira Cox. I'm going to let her introduce herself, and then we're going to get right into our discussion.
So, peace, everyone. My name is Dira. I am, as everyone knows, I'm an author, but I'm also not to list titles because that really doesn't mean much in my world, right? So I'm a certified doula as well, also a certified healer, certified womb care practitioner. Everyone's like, what's a womb care practitioner? I'm certified to do yoni steaming. Everyone knows what yoni steaming is.
Yeah.
So I am a single mother of my only child. She'll be 20, born and raised in Newark, New Jersey. Very proud.
So lots of different things that you have your hands in. I would like to touch upon some of those things. So out of the things you listed, what did you start doing first?
Once I became certified as a doula, I realized that I had been doing the doula work for many years.
Okay.
But once I went into what they considered the classroom setting and became certified, I realized that I was doing that the longest.
Okay.
So being a doula, a birth worker, you can attach the word doula to many different things. Actually, I have my book editor. Her name is the spiritual doula. So doula just means assisting in the birth of.
Okay.
You can assist in the birth of another human, an idea, anything at that point, right? So I'm just a full spectrum doula. I'm certified in prenatal, birthing, and postpartum.
Okay.
The only thing that I don't do is death. I don't do death doula. So when people terminate or miscarry, or they birth stillborn babies, I don't do that part. So I've been doing doula work for a very, very, very long time. Speaking life. That's what I'll say about birth work. I've been speaking life to people for a very long time. So doula is probably the longest that I've been doing in my life. The shortest would be the author. No, because I'm new in yoni steaming. So that's the shortest. And then next would be the author, because I didn't even know that I was an author.
Yeah. So speaking of being an author, how did the concept for All About the Re come about?
Such an interesting story. So, if you've ever purchased my book or read my book and you read the preface of the book, it'll mention in there how it came about. And for all of those that didn't purchase the book, I'm going to just briefly tell you. I was in a marriage to my first husband maybe 7 years. And things just became loveless and lifeless. And I was heavily in the church at the time. And I was complaining a lot about this marriage and this man and all the things that were not going right any further. And they just kept saying, you know, the typical Christian thing, pray on it, you know,
Yep.
I don't know, tithe on, I don't know.
Fast and
sacrifice and pray. And I kept saying, I have done everything that you told me to do. I have tithed, I have prayed, I have sacrificed, I've been obedient, I've fasted, I'm celibate, I'm not having sex with him or anybody. Like, I've done everything and it's not working.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, you have to figure it out because no one wants to do that again. And I was like, no one wants to do what again? They were like, remarry. No one wants to do that. So you have to figure it out. And because of that, I stayed for as long as I stayed.
Yeah.
Years. So once I realized that this is just not for me, it's not going to work any longer. And I began to do the work on letting go and healing myself and doing all of those things. And I was like, sometimes you need the do-over. Yeah. Like, I need to do it again.
Yeah.
Whatever the again is, whatever the do-over is, whatever it is you feel like you need to do again, sometimes it's needed. And in mine, the catalyst was to remarry, right? So that's where it's all about the re. The re is the do-over. So you can attach re to any action word, right? Remarry, refocus, reaffirm, rethink, rebuild, restore. Sometimes you need to do those things. And I'm saying sometimes very loosely, because in a lot of my seminars where I speak to women or my mentees, it's what's needed. Not sometimes, all the time. We realize as women that we need to do it again, but we've been told that we shouldn't.
Yeah.
We've been told that we can't. And I'm not, up here promoting any form of women liberation, even though, I believe in it. I'm just saying, as women, especially as women of color, we're told that you have to get it right the first time.
Yeah.
You have to. Like, you don't have a choice. There is no do-overs for you because the world is unfair for Black women.
Yeah. And when I read that in the preface of your book, it just rang true to my life as well. I got married and very quickly realized it was not the right decision. I kind of was forced to make the decision to get divorced just because it was wearing on my own mental health. And I was just like, yeah, that is it. And you stay because of other people, not even because of the person you're married to, but because of everybody else.
Because the other person, well, in my case, had already checked out.
Yeah.
Had already checked out mentally, physically, emotionally, everything had already checked out. And I'm sitting here praying and fasting. Like, they told me I gotta wait. They told me it's gonna come back. They told me and I'm like, well, who the hell is they? Because they get they get to go home and lay with their husband and lay with they, whatever.
Yeah.
Whether we know it's working for them or not, but outside looking in, perception wise, you fine. But you're telling me to wait. Yeah. Wait for what? What I realized also is this is not practice.
Yeah.
This is the real thing.
Yeah.
So what am I waiting for?
Exactly.
And
it's sad because I had this conversation with a friend of mine, kind of similar to what you said, like, we weren't given that, afforded that start over type of thing. Right. And divorce was for white people. And, Black people don't get divorced.
Mm-mm.
and they just
Go to
live
church
in,
and pray.
yeah, you pray, and if you gotta sleep in two separate rooms, you sleep in two separate rooms, but you're not getting a divorce.
Mm-mm.
And it's a shame that, that's kind of how we all grew up. Like, we know our aunt and uncle hate each other, but they're still together and they're not going to get a divorce. They're going to be together and just not like each other. And
so uncle girlfriend live down the street.
yeah, exactly. When you see them at the mall, you don't even say anything.
Don't say nothing. You just keep
No.
going.
Yeah.
Don't say a word.
And it's sad. It's really sad that they felt they didn't have options.
Now the irony is, my family dynamic is different, right? So my family dynamic is, I come from very strong, independent women, and they were like, "We out."
Yeah.
Like,
that's my mom's side. They don't play any games.
Everybody, we're not doing this. We out. However, because I was in the church,
right?
The church was saying no.
Yes.
Because you're not supposed to. Meanwhile, my family was like, "What the hell is taking you so long?" Yeah. But I was like, "No, because God said," and they was like, "God didn't say be miserable." And it's like, that's not what he said. He did not say that. So who are you listening to? So I stayed because I was very young when I got married, but I stayed because I wanted to prove to them, like I got it. I know y'all said I should not have gotten married, but I'm good. He gonna come back and we gonna be fine. And I was torturing myself.
Yeah.
He had already moved on, had a girlfriend, everything. Now I was waiting, literally, mentally and physically waiting. And I was like, I need to be able to do this again. But this time, I get to decide. That's the liberating part.
Yeah.
I get to decide who, what, when, where, why, and how. It's all on me.
Yeah.
I don't use anyone else's ideologies, theories, beliefs, nothing. I don't have relationship goals. How we look at it. I don't have any of that. Because what works for you is definitely not going to work for me. And what's working for me is not going to work for you. I don't take relationship advice. I don't do any of those things any longer because that's what held me captive for so long.
And it's, I haven't gone through the workbook. I'm not ready because I read the first activity and I was like, okay, I just need to get my mind right. I need some time, not in a bad way. I need like my time. Like I have a almost 2-year-old who gives me no peace. Oh. So
that's your heart. Look.
Yeah, so I have to like get in my own space and then I can dive into it because I went through like some of the things and I'm like, this is good. Like,
oh, you did?
Yeah.
Good.
I talked to my, I go to therapy.
Excellent.
I told my therapist about it. She's like, oh, you have to give me the name of it. I was like, yeah, I sure will.
Excellent.
Yeah. Excellent. So, yeah.
I tell people all the time, I am the catalyst for therapy. This book is going to go because I don't have you go deep because I'm not a therapist.
Yeah.
The questions the thought-provoking questions that it's going to ask you is going to bring up some stuff. Mm-hmm. You're going to definitely want to go deep and process that with a licensed therapist.
Yeah. Because I read like some of the questions to her and the first thing she said is, how do you feel about that? And I was like, I'm not ready to answer it, but this is good, right? She's like, no, it's good. She's like, we can kind of go through it. But yeah.
Yes, so, I have a couple social worker friends that were saying to me as well in their practice, like, Dira, I'm going to use your book as some exercises for my clients because it's great. It's for all ages, all, I used to say it was for women. And I was checked by a couple fellas and they was like, I bought your book and it helped me. And I was like, oh, I'm so now I say it's universal. I don't just say it's for women. So it's helped some fellas that I know as well. And I just think it's what I needed for myself. So I felt as if it was my gift to the world for them to actually, because healing, I was just having a conversation with my daughter. Healing is heavy.
Yeah.
It's heavy, and in actuality, most people don't want to do it. And a lot of people don't do it at all.
Oh yeah, I know. And and I say that because I mean, I'm sure people are tired of me telling them to go to therapy. Because I tell my coworkers, like my one coworker was talking to me about her husband. I was like, you need to go to therapy because that's not normal. Like you need to sit down and talk to somebody about why you accept that. But I say it to everybody because I think that people, especially Black people, have this like negative connotation now, like therapy is the thing. It's all, mental health is like such a big thing for younger age groups.
Right.
Only.
Right.
Because I talk to people who are older than me and I'm like, therapy does not mean there's something wrong with you right now.
Yes, it do.
But you don't want to go because you don't want to know what would happen to you back then. And that's why you act the way you act right now.
Right. And I'm not going to like my aunt.
Yeah.
So no, I'm not.
And they don't want to go. And I mean, I say it all the time. You need to go because there are things that you do right now that are the direct result of things that happened to you in your past. And it's just because you do them, it doesn't mean that it's okay.
And grandma said, girl, don't listen to her.
Exactly. No, you're right. You are
grandma
right.
Said, don't listen to her.
And I tell them, I'm like, look, in the age of COVID, you can tell a doc or whatever you want to call your therapy. You don't even have to go in because I do mine on my lunch break in my car.
I know that's right. I know that's right. But I'm appreciative for what COVID did in the sense of it forced people to sit and be with themselves.
Yeah.
They couldn't run from them. They were stuck not only with their husband and their children, but themselves.
Yeah.
So every single night when the kids went to sleep and you was grabbing a glass of wine, you started to play some things in your mind and it forced it. Yeah. And I hope from that, there's a huge emergence of, therapy sessions and private practices come into play because, like you said, just because you go to therapy doesn't mean something's wrong. I know when I went to therapy, it just made me realize and understand and accept why I did what I did or why I do what I do.
Yeah.
And in knowing myself, I can understand and process better when people say to me, ask me a question, or I now look through everything with a trauma lens.
Yeah.
Literally. So I understand and I'm like, that's just a trauma response. Like they don't really mean that. They're just responding based off of their trauma. Sometimes it allows me to overstand a lot of people a lot of times. May not deserve it, but that's just what I am.
Yeah. So. Now, are you like a life coach or do you do any of that? Because I know you have like the why not. Is it like a seminar? I'm sorry. I don't.
That's all right.
I don't want to misspeak because I looked at a couple of different things that were on your page, so I don't want to say it wrong.
I can't even lie to you. It's a lot, right? my daughter, who I call my in-house PR, she goes, is your Instagram a business page? Because it seems aesthetically that you're promoting everything. And I'll be like, child, for somebody that don't get paid, she got a lot of advice, right? So I'm like, well, right now I am not a social media person, right? I just put there what I'm promoting and I, letting the people know that's what I'm doing. Yeah. So as my business grows, then will be aesthetically pleasing to the eye. But right now I just need to promote what I'm doing. So
Yeah.
Why Not Events is the name of my business.
Okay, got
A
it.
lot of different things under Why Not,
Got
right?
it. Okay.
I know it's a lot. So Why Not Events, and the reason why people like, so what do you do? Are you a party planner? Like, what's the events part?
Yeah.
So Why Not Events initially started out, I was an event planner. I was.
Oh, okay.
I did everything you could name. I
Mhm.
did birthday parties, weddings, book releases, casting. I did everything. I planned it all. If you wanted it done, I could do it. I'm really good at detail and time management and stuff
Mhm.
like that. So I started out as an event planner.
Okay.
However, what I learned from planning the events was in conversation with speaking with a lot of women that a lot of us were broken and we didn't realize just how broken we were.
Yeah.
So that's where the women empowerment part came from. Why Not?
Okay.
So it just works because I can plan my own women empowerment events
Yeah.
because I'm an event planner. So that's where the women empowerment piece and the seminars and the Reclaim You and all of
Mhm.
that stuff came from. So Reclaim You is the actual overall umbrella of the women empowerment because I
Okay.
believe it's you have to reclaim, and you is an acronym for your own universe.
Got it.
So that's where everything else comes from. Then you have now the book under Why Not Events, and that's where you get the Re Lady, and it's all about the Re and
Mhm.
all of those things. So it's like Why Not Events, and then there's two things under Why Not Events.
Got it. Okay.
It's
So
like I'm
now
working.
your events, where exactly, like, do you contact, do you do, oh, I'm like fumbling my words. Are you contacted by conferences, women's groups? Do you reach out to people? How exactly do your events work?
So I do my own events right
Okay.
now. I plan, and they were in person until
Hmm.
COVID. Now they're
Right.
virtual. Planning to go back in person because I'm very much a private in-person person. Right.
Yeah.
I love to get with my women at my events and we can get on the floor and we can cry and we can take our shoot. Like that's me.
Yeah.
Right. So I do my own events. Like I built my own audience literally from one following at a time because like I
Okay.
said, I started out from doing events and then the people that I did the events for, they just followed over into the women empowerment part. And
Okay.
once that took off, then it was word of mouth.
Got it. Okay.
But I am open for seminars, conferences, anything that you need me to come speak at. I do speaking engagements, panel discussions. I've done it all, but I've done a lot locally here in my own city and
Okay.
north.
Got
But
it.
I'm looking to travel and get my name out there. A lot of people say in my events that I'm more of a motivational speaker.
Yeah.
So I can do a motivational speak if you need me to. Um, but I don't consider myself a motivational speaker because I'm a very definition literal type person. When I speak, I'm very conscious of the words, right?
Hmm.
So motivation is it's a huge responsibility.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It takes a lot to motivate someone.
But
So I
you
don't
don't
like
think
it.
it's the same for empowering though?
So I like to say I am an empowerment coach,
Got it.
right?
Okay.
When you think of coach
Yeah.
does what? Coach gives you the instructions and the
Hmm.
information and the direction, and it is now up to you to take that information and do with it as you may. You're either going to fumble with the ball or you're going to make a touchdown.
There you
But
go.
I promote self accountability. So
Okay.
I'm going to always bring it back to you. So I say coach. I don't say leader. I don't say any of those other words
Yeah.
because I'm a coach.
Which makes sense.
So I'm a
Definitely
women
does.
empowerment coach. I make my own child. I don't know if that's out there, but I made it. Sound good? They like a woman empowerment coach? Absolutely. Yes. Mm-hmm.
But it makes sense though, because when you hear the word coach, that
Coach.
that is what you feel like you're being guided and
Right.
like a life coach, just they're not telling you what to do. They're just guiding you along your journey. So
that's it.
It makes sense.
I'm going to hold your hand and we're going to walk together, but I'm not going to go in front of you and I'm not going to run a play for you. I'm going to give you the tools that you need for your toolbox. I'm going to give you resources and I'm going to give you all the support, whatever that support looks like. I'm going to give it to you. I like to say also that I do transformative thinking. I like to switch the perspective of the person. So I do a lot of self-focus.
Okay.
So you come in and, you're in a session with me and we're having a conversation and you're telling me what's wrong. And I go, okay, so tell me about your part. And no one wants to talk about them.
Yeah.
No one wants to talk about what they did wrong or what they feel as though they did wrong, or in your speak or your conversation with me, whatever word you use, I get you to change your words. If you notice, I also say healing through words. Words have power. So I get you to switch your words around a lot. I don't do a lot of negative talk. So I listen to what people say all the time, whatever words that they choose, whether it's consciously or subconsciously. And I'm like, So I do. I'm multifaceted in this thing. I do basically whatever it is you need me to do in the moment. That's what I'm going to do.
So when you have your events, how does that work? Because you are like a very personal person. So if you have a group of women who are there, like how does your events work?
So I'll speak my previous event that I just did. I got hired, my first corporate speaking, right? They hired me for LabCorp. I was very excited.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. So I went to speak at LabCorp, and the regional manager hired me to speak to all the managers she had under her. So it was about 15 women.
Okay.
And so when I do small and intimate like that, I'm very focused on a specific topic. Okay. If you were to hire me and speak for a panel discussion, I can be very general.
Right.
And I can speak to the masses of 150 people.
Got it. Okay.
So it all depends on what you're hiring me to do. She was very specific. Like, I only want you to speak to my managers. I don't want you to speak to all the employees that's under me, because she believed that they needed some motivating and they needed to learn real work-life balance. She didn't want them to. So I came in and I spoke to them about what that looked like. And I said, work is great, but if you bring it home into work, then there's no balance.
Now, how did she hear about you? Was it she have your book? Did she kind of just find you? Really? See?
I know, right?
Instagram is the way to go these days.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's what they say, free marketing or something like that.
Is.
Instagram. And I don't do like what do they call it? Paid promoting,
paid
or
promos, yeah.
Paid promo. I'm a very, very, very patient person. And I just believe in everything in divine timing.
Yes.
So my time is going to come. Like, all it takes is one person and I'll do it. But I am exactly where I'm supposed to be at this time.
Absolutely. So. Yeah. And talk to me a little bit about the promotion that you have right now with the because I did get my screensaver.
Did you? You sure did. I emailed it.
Yes.
You did. The wallpaper. Did you put it on your phone?
Yes, I do have it. Actually, I have it on my laptop.
Really?
But I can't show you because I'm on my laptop. So. But talk to me a little bit about that, and then about the contest that you have going on.
Okay. So quickly though, do you love it? That was the one you...
I do.
You really do?
Yes, I do.
That's good to hear. It's so surreal for women for them to show me and send me proof that they have it on their phones.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Oh, okay. So for the month of March, I am doing a Women's History Month contest.
Okay.
And that contest, I am looking for the woman.
Okay.
And the woman, I had a definition. I'm sorry, I didn't have it written down.
That's okay.
I can find it to tell you what the woman encompasses.
They can
And
go to your Instagram page or your
I'm gonna get
website
there.
and find out.
Absolutely, they can. They can go to my website, not my website, my Instagram, and look for the original post and read what the woman is, and they can nominate themselves or their sister. And their sister can be their biological sister or a sister friend or co-worker. And that contest is open for men. If you want to nominate your wife, why not?
Yeah.
Intended. And so I typically do something every March.
Okay.
So I wanted to do something a little bit differently. This was my first contest ever. I was very excited about it.
Yeah.
Just to have women, because women get very uncomfortable when it comes to self, right? Because we put everything and everybody else first.
Right.
So I wanted them, that's why I said you can self-nominate. And that's not a bad thing. You can nominate yourself. That's not a selfish thing. Like, I also teach self-care. Doing my 9 to 5, pardon me. I'm also a certified doula case manager, but I deal with parenting and pregnant women who are in recovery from opioids. And that's a totally different thing where they don't even know what self-identification is.
Yeah.
So when you have that, just being a woman in general, we have so many other titles that we always come last. And if you put yourself first, you carry a lot of guilt.
Yes.
Why are we guilty when it comes to ourselves? Who taught us that? Who told you that you have to be last? Who said that? And the most vivid example I can tell women is when you are on an airplane and they're given instructions on what to do when the plane goes down. The oxygen mask drops from the airplane. What do they tell you to do?
Put yours on first. Yep.
Put yours on first.
Yep.
Because if you don't put any oxygen on yourself, you are going to pass out. Therefore, you can't help nobody else.
No one. Not at all. And my therapist says that is perpetuated by the strong Black woman narrative. And so we feel like we're not supposed to ask for help. We're not supposed to do anything for ourselves because we are strong and we don't need all the extras.
Miss Aisha. I took down my strong Black women flag years ago.
I hear that.
It was killing. It gave me back problems.
I believe it.
Gave me back. I said, I was just talking. I forget who it was, whether it was my daughter or someone else. And I said, when you hear strong, what do you think of? They was like, strong, like they can do it all and they don't need help.
Yep.
I said, that ain't it. That is not me. I need all the help. I need all the help I can get.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I come from a family of very, very strong, independent women. Very strong, independent women, right? There are literally no men in my family. My grandmother had 3 daughters. They all had 1 daughter.
Wow.
And then I had a daughter.
Yeah.
There's no men. So I really grew up doing it for myself because I had to.
Yeah.
But when we get around, I have a very big family. My grandmother has 13 brothers and sisters. So there's men, but in my immediate family, there isn't. But so when we get to a family reunion or something like that, you should see the women walking around doing the... I'm done doing? And the men, because they're so spoiled, they
Yes.
standing around doing nothing.
Talking.
Here come the generational breaker. I'll be like this. Hey, come here for a minute. Get this table. Dira, what? You just want to stand there and wait for him to pick the table up? Yep. Well, we could have did it by now. That's the problem. You keep doing it by now, and they're not doing anything. I said, I'm getting older in age. I don't want any more children, but damn, I don't want my uterus to fall down either.
Right.
What are they doing? I'm not doing it. No, why can't they do it? That's we are so accustomed. We do it without thinking.
Yeah.
Not me. When I tell you I snatched that flag down.
Yeah.
Listen to me. I got a trunk full of water in my car right now. Every time my man comes, I'll be like, could you get some water out the car? I will be thirsty. I'm not bringing it in the house. We have a law trying to pass in the state of New Jersey. They want us to pump our own gas. Where do I sign? I don't want that. Where's the petition for that not to happen?
I'm in Texas and we do it.
I have to do it when I go to Maryland, but that's on visitation.
Yeah.
I don't. No.
That's not a daily occurrence.
No, ma'am. There's just some things I don't want. If I don't have to do it, I need help.
Yeah.
And help looks different for each and every woman, right? Some women don't mind. They go get that case of water. And when I was single, guess what? I had to bring the case of water up, right?
Yeah.
And now that I got a man, I ain't touching it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. So help looks, it looks different for everyone. And you have to define what help is. So that strong Black woman narrative, it's literally killing us.
Yep. So
It's
true.
us. We can over independent ourselves to being angry.
Yeah.
Because now we trying to figure out why the hell they won't help. Well, you didn't allow them to.
Yeah. And don't ask.
And
do not ask.
So I say all that to say, self is not toxic.
Yeah. Self
is not toxic. You can nominate yourself for this contest or your sister, right? And how you nominate is you go to the post, you tag yourself, and you get people to come and like your tag.
Okay.
Whoever has the most tags at the end of the month is the winner.
Got it.
And if you win, and you're here in Central Northern New Jersey, you get to win a manicure from my manicurist.
Okay.
I always partner with another female Black-owned entrepreneur.
Got it. Okay.
However, if you are the winner and you're not here, I will simply mail you a gift card and you can go get your nails done from your manicurist. Not a problem.
Okay.
But you will also win a 20-minute free consultation with me, and we can discuss how the RE can benefit you in that consultation. So that's the contest. And I'm also hosting a virtual event on the 28th, which I do every March. It's a virtual event, guidance through the RE. You will learn tools on how to maintain your peace while going through the RE. So it'll be a Zoom. You will register on my website. The cost is $10. And 2 days before the event happens, I will send you out your Zoom information. And I will see you on Sunday, the 28th of the month at 2:00.
Okay. So you just said that you would win a consultation in the contest. Do you do that normally? Like, is that offered that someone can do a consultation?
Yes. So I do offer one-to-one coaching sessions. You can email me and send me your contact information, and then I'll have a conversation and you'll let me know, what it is that you're looking for, how you believe I can benefit you. And then we'll go from there. Right now, I have about 4 young ladies that I work with on a weekly basis.
Okay.
And determining what you want or what you feel as though you need from me will determine. It's like an a la carte type price list. Now, I always have to say, I am not a therapist.
Okay.
You're not going to come to me and and I'm not going to say, well, how does that make you feel?
Yeah.
I'm just going to get you to think about some things differently.
Yeah.
Give you some tools on, how to focus on strategies of life. I also
Okay.
do vision boards. I actually have my annual vision board meeting this Sunday coming up. That's a
Okay.
very private event though.
Got it.
So yeah, I do a lot. Sounds like a lot,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, you do.
That's
That's
a
okay.
lot. I
That is
didn't even realize how
okay.
much I do. It's a lot.
Yeah. Now, when you're doing the consultation, do you focus on the book or is it more of a personal type
So it's a
discussion
personal,
conversation?
initially, it's a personal, just a simple conversation. And in that conversation, it will let me know what you need. Some
Got it.
people
Okay.
don't want to, let's just say, purchase the book,
Mm-hmm.
but I always find a way to throw my book in there anyway.
Right.
And in our session, I can ask you a question from the book and you don't even know that it's from the book because you never
Yeah.
got to.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a simple conversation initially, and I can determine from that conversation what it is that what it is that I feel as though I can offer you. And it can be, I've had some people 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
I've had some people a couple years.
Okay.
And they leave and they come back and they're like, you know what, Miss Dira, I had no idea what you were saying to me when we first started, but now I get it. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, take some time. I'm a seed planter. I may not
Yes.
see the flower blossom, but
Exactly.
definitely going to plant the seed.
Now, do you have plans to write another book?
Yes. So I do have a second book coming out. The second book should be out, I like to say late spring, early summer. So I'm
Okay.
saying June-ish. I am honestly more excited about the second book than I am the first book.
Okay.
The first book was very therapeutic for me. I
Mm-hmm.
wrote it and I basically wrote down what I did and the questions
Yeah.
that I used. The second book is actually a book of activities.
Okay.
Things, they're not just questions, they're things you have to do.
Got it. Okay.
So it's a continuum. So I'm hoping and praying that the people that get the second book don't just jump to the second book and then do the first book.
Yeah.
I know that's going to be the case in some instances. I just don't want it to be all the cases. Now, my in-house PR, she goes, oh, so I didn't do the first book, mommy, but I had her run through the second book. She said, but I'm going to do the second book.
The first book is very mental, meaning like you really have to sit and be with yourself.
With yourself. You
Yeah.
definitely have to be with yourself. It's,
Yeah.
can I be honest?
Oh,
I
yes.
haven't had a conversation with someone about the book yet
Mhm.
because everyone says, well, I can't get past the first question. So I
Mm.
haven't done it. And I'm like, I'm looking for honest feedback here. Like y'all just got me out here waiting for reviews of the book. The book has been out a year.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, I skipped first. I didn't open it. Once I read the first question, I didn't do it. I was like,
Mm.
I said, well, how about you skip the first question and go to the third question?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know I can do that. Not in sequential order. It's just questions in the book that you should
Right.
answer. So it's like for yourself, if you want to go to the back of the book and work your way forward, you can do that.
Yeah.
There's no expiration date on the book. It's just how you choose. Some people can answer question 15, and from question 15, they can go back and answer question 1.
Yeah.
Question 1 is very hard.
It is hard. That's why I said I put it down and was like, I'm gonna come back to this. I need this when I'm like fully focused and yeah.
But just it's not an answer that's going to come right away. I'm
That's
going to be
true.
honest. It's not an answer. So if you keep saying, I'll come back, I'll come back, I'll come back, it's going to be 5 years. And you're
Yeah.
gonna be like, oh, I think I should pull that book out now.
No, I really am going to do it. When I initially like went to go through it, I had just put my daughter down and I was like doing some other
Oh
things and I
yeah.
looked at it. So I was like, oh, this is one of those books. Like I gotta like burn some sage and like burn a candle and then get into the book.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. You have to, or get you some Palo Santo or something.
Yeah.
and get your mind right.
Yes.
But most people find that question. So I used to do seminars, and that was my very first question in a seminar. And we couldn't go to any other parts of the seminar because that question can jump to so many other things.
Yeah.
You'd be amazed. Well, probably not. You probably know how many people cannot answer that question.
Oh, I believe it. I wanted to do an episode about something similar. And everybody that I asked was like, nah, I'm not talking about that. And I was like, why? Like, what is the big deal? I'm not talking about that.
Well, bring me back and let's talk about it.
I said, that's interesting because I want to do the episode because people don't talk about it. Like, that's the whole point. I want to know why people are so afraid to talk about it.
Because they don't know.
Yeah.
They can't answer the question.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that episode did not happen because it would have just been me.
Well, now you have another participant.
Okay.
I am volunteering to come back for the episode.
That sounds good to me because, yeah. And maybe we can, go live on Instagram and kind of talk about it too.
Yes. I would love to do that, but yeah.
Because I definitely think that if I was not in therapy, it would deter me from continuing with the book.
Really?
I think it would because, like I said, you have to get into you.
Yes, ma'am.
And not everybody is ready for that.
Yes, ma'am.
So I think that is why, like, if you're not ready to really be with yourself and your thoughts, you're not going to do it. Like, I'm going to do it.
Yes.
Ma'am. But I think that when people are not ready to really dive into their own lives and their thoughts and their emotions and their feelings and what they think, they're not going to do it.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And a lot of people, it's, fear is, oh my God.
Yeah,
fear
that's what it is.
It's like a chokehold.
Mm-hmm.
It's like oh my God. Fear is the stagnated house arrest anklet. Like you only go but so far.
Yeah.
And then you'll come back. And I tell my daughter, who also is currently trying to run away from some things. Mm-hmm. And I said, for me, I don't understand why people run from the journey.
Yeah.
Because it is the journey that makes you. Mm-hmm. It is not the beginning or the end.
Nope.
It is the journey. I was always a person that would go through it, right? Like people would ask me, with everything that your ex-husband put you through, would you? I said, I would love again.
Yeah.
All of it. Everything. All the heartache, the crying, all the happy, the sad, all of it. Everything. I enjoy all emotions. Yeah. I am literally an emotional ball of everything. I said, because we shy away from all emotions, mm-hmm. thinking that there's bad emotions, and they're not. Emotions are good. You need emotions to keep you human. Anger is good. Resentment is good. Frustration is good. Disappointment is good. Because what did you learn from that emotion?
Right.
When is to not get stuck in the emotion. Yes. But you want to learn a lesson from every single emotion. Mm-hmm. So I don't shy away from.
When people do shy away from feeling, that's when trauma starts too.
Right.
Because you're not dealing with it. So it's just sitting in the back of your mind, causing all this anguish because you're not letting it out.
And yes, ma'am. And heart palpitations and high blood pressure and all type of dis-ease in the body. And Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
the another part of my many things that I do, right? So now that I am a certified wound care practitioner, a part of my steaming sessions are gonna go with healing, because we as women we carry our trauma in our wombs.
Yeah, I heard that.
We don't carry it anywhere else. We
Yeah.
believe we carry it in our mind and our heart, and no, we
Mhm.
carry it in our wombs. That's a lot of unresolved negative energy just sitting in your womb.
Yeah.
So I, as a wound care practitioner, am going to balance your pH and help you release all that trauma on that pot. So I don't do healing parties. Like, don't come with your girlfriend because she ain't
Yeah.
gonna let us see you cry.
Yeah, this is private.
This is a very private, intimate
Yeah.
session that we as women have to let go. All of the sexual partners that you have, we have to realize and understand that we are the receivers,
Mm-hmm.
we're the carriers. So you're carrying every partner that you've ever let into your body. You're carrying a piece of him
Yeah.
or
One of
her.
my friends told me the exact same thing, and she said that uh, the same thing happens when you have a baby by someone.
Yeah.
That their DNA lives in your body because you created this kid, and so you have their DNA in your body. And
And unless you,
I mean, obviously, I don't think that anybody sees it that way, but I'm like, oh my God, yes,
they
like,
don't. So unless you detoxify your womb
yeah.
and let that thing go.
Mm-hmm.
So just imagine all your sexual partners or sexual trauma, all
Yeah.
the, molestation and all of that you're carrying in your womb. And it literally can cause a imbalance in your womb, which then leads to vaginosis,
Mm-hmm.
vaginal odor, vagicitis, endometriosis, fiber. All of those things are literally connected because they're hormonal
Right.
and your
Yeah.
emotions. They're all connected, and we don't see that as women. We don't. We live in. Nobody can tell me what to do with my body.
Yeah.
Sexual freedom and liberations and all of that is great. And that's,
Yeah.
empowering. And I understand, but you have to understand also what you're doing as you let someone enter you. You are
Yeah.
accepting whatever state that person is in,
Mm-hmm.
that it's energy. Right.
Yeah.
So if you having angry sex and he's angry or he really don't want to do it, or, whatever, you're mad and frustrated, all of that is centered in your womb. And as women, that is the center of our creative space.
Yeah.
And it's blocked now because you have not detoxified and got rid of all of that energy. So,
Yeah. Would you so because I know women who do the steams,
mhm,
yoni steams,
mhm.
and just various other things where they may go to like a spa that's usually Asian women that offer those types of services. I know in Texas that's big at the Asian spas. Do you recommend that you just go anywhere to do it, or it should really be a purposeful thing? Because is it even going to work if you're just sitting there without the real intent of it? Because I've never done it before.
Okay. So I, I'm not I'm not gonna ever knock another woman's hustle. That's number one. I'm not gonna. That's not gonna be me.
Yeah.
There's enough in the world for us to get whatever it is we need to get. So you have to understand what your purpose is behind it. And
Okay.
once you understand your purpose behind it, then you'll seek out that type of practitioner,
Got
right?
it. Okay.
So let's be honest. If you're sitting on um, steaming herbs
Mm-hmm.
and you're open, right?
Yeah.
And you're drinking alcohol,
Okay.
That's counterproductive.
Yes.
And listen, even though that's not what I do, if that's what that sister chooses to do, that's on that sister.
Right.
That, you know, but then you have to understand. That's why I say you got to think. I do transitional thinking, right? Mm-hmm. Transformative thinking. Change your perspective. How is that productive if you're drinking a glass of champagne and you're supposed to be healing your vagina?
Right. Yeah.
How does that work? Doesn't work. It does. It's counterproductive, right? Mm-hmm. So as a practitioner who is also associated with healing, you're not going to come to me and be like, I just want my vagina to taste like pineapples. It's not, sis. It's not going to taste like pineapples. Let me tell you why it's not going to taste like pineapples. Because when you get off my pot and you go eat McDonald's and you drink a fifth of Hennessy and smoke hookah.
Hey, you know that is the truth right there.
So what is it going to taste like? Because you done killed the... It's not going to taste like pineapples. No. You just drink a fifth of Hennessy.
Yeah.
And you ate McDonald's.
Right.
You don't drink any water. You drink no water.
Yeah.
You eat no vegetables. Everything is fried. But you want your vagina to taste like fruit. You don't even eat fruit.
Yeah. And pineapple Ciroc does not count.
Because it ain't even real pineapples that they use.
Exactly.
So, like I said, I'm not going to knock another sister's hustle because that's the fad. And I get it. Yep. You understand? People are making a lot of money off of that fad. Hey, go ahead and make your money, sis. Do your thing. But when you come to me, hear what I tell you. You are about to tap into some unresolved energy that you didn't think you were going to tap into.
Yeah.
Now, when you get off my pot, can we talk about the infertility? Can we talk about balancing your hormones? Can we talk about menopause and perimenopausal things and alleviating your cramps? Absolutely.
Yeah.
All of that is going to help you. All of it. But don't come to me like I want to take.
Yeah.
I'm not that practitioner.
Yeah. Now, is it a one-time thing or should this be something that you do like on a schedule?
So it all depends on if you just want to come because I've never experienced it before. You can get a one-time steam. Sure. I'll have to be honest with you. Some women don't like it. I don't see the point of it. No problem. You're not my client. You tried it out and you didn't like it. You don't see the benefits. No problem. But if you want to come after your first time and you see a significant difference, so we would have to take a full intake, right? You have to tell me about your lifestyle. Like in a day, Miss Aisha, what do you do? And you will begin to tell me your day. And in that day, what do you eat? You tell me what you eat. Okay. So why do you want to steam? And then you will say, well, I heard, and then that's where it would go from there. Okay. And I say, it has been proven. Remember, it's not recognized by like the state boards or anything like that, but it has been proven that a continuous regimen in steaming alleviates and helps with menstrual cramps. It can regulate your period.
Yeah.
Something simple. It can minimize the symptoms that you have from menopause. It can bring back it can reverse the vaginal dryness. But there are so many other things you have to do. It's not just steaming.
Got it. Okay.
You got to drink water.
Yeah.
I'm not vegan. I do a lot of vegan options, right? I'm pescatarian. I don't eat meat, but I still eat seafood because I grew up on crabs and I don't want to let it go. Girl, right? I know that. It's hard. You talk about a chokehold. Crabs got me in a chokehold now. I love crabs. But so I will offer an alternative. Like I tell people, I pride myself on meeting you where you are.
Yeah.
Right. I don't drink soda. I don't drink juice. I know some people that say, well, I ain't giving up my soda. Okay. Then don't drink Pepsi. Drink ginger ale. So that's where I offer an alternative, and just you'll be amazed at the slight change in things.
Yeah, from
can
that
dramatically change your pH balance, your sweats, your moisture. It also brings a sense of confidence and lightness. It can help with depression. It has so many benefits, but you have to do it in accordance with everything else.
Right.
I know you're not going to give up fried chicken. It took me years to give up fried chicken. But how about you don't have fried chicken and fried fish in the same day? Right? Like,
don't get the platter.
You understand? Don't get fish and shrimp and fries.
Yeah.
Get a salad. So that's where I come from. So you can begin to see the difference. And after maybe your third time, you like, yo, Miss Dira. And I'll be like, told you. Yeah. And then you'll want to come more often and take a package or something like that and be like, I'm going to see you twice a month. Okay.
Now, do you recommend getting the steams done by someone who's certified? Because honestly, I don't know that some of these people are certified. I'm serious.
Well, I'll be very honest, right? So anybody, I don't want to say anybody like that, but anybody can be a doula. Okay. The certification came once the insurances were saying we might want to pay.
Got it.
You understand? So you can steam yonis, vaginas. Certification came now because do you feel more comfortable when I say I'm certified?
Certified, yeah.
That just means that in actuality, I set my behind down under the instruction of somebody else, and I learned about the woman reproductive system. I learned about the herbs that I use. I learned about what herbs to mix, what you should use on a client and you shouldn't use on a client. You understand? But if you go to somebody, you can go to your girlfriend and she say, yeah, girl, I got this off Amazon and we're gonna put some herbs in here and you're gonna sit on it and we're gonna steam. Right? Yeah. She didn't really put in the hours that I put in, but anybody can steam. She may not know what specific herb to use for what specific thing you're presenting, but anybody can steam.
Got it.
That's all. Okay.
I'll be looking.
I'm not going to the agency to steam, though.
No, no, not at all. And I'll be looking for a certification because you're not about to have me sitting on oregano, and rosemary or something random.
When you should have been sitting on like black coerce, raspberry. Right now, lavender and rosemary are all beneficial herbs, but you got to mix it with something else. Like you're not just gonna sit down on some rosemary. But most of them just get some herbs from somewhere. It's already
and mix them together, yeah.
And you just put it in a pot and you sit on it,
yeah.
And just that's fine. But you have to look at what the herbs is in the package and what are they doing? Is it benefiting what you might think you want?
It, yeah.
I'm saying, I mean, anybody can steam. They sell herbs and steams all over Instagram.
I know. I've seen them. I have seen them.
Mine is just in conjunction with. I just go a little deeper. That's all. Make your money.
Which I think that, to make things purposeful,
right?
You have to know why you're doing it. You can't just do it because you saw somebody do it on a show or whatever.
Well, that's the generation in which we are in.
I know, but I got questions. I need to get some details about this first.
Right. So my clientele will be women such as yourself.
Okay.
Right. You understand? Yeah. Like my energy is going to attract the woman that's looking for that. It's not going to attract the 22-year-old woman that said, my man on his way over, I need to get my stuff ready. I'm not going to attract her. She's not even going to want to come to me because she's not going to be ready to sit on my pot.
Yeah, which makes sense.
So she's going to go to the lady that's going to tell her stuff going to taste like pineapple.
Oh, man. People are so interesting.
Everything is intent and purpose. Her purpose was not my purpose. We didn't meet.
Right. So I just have a final question for you before we wrap up.
Yes.
Is your book self-published or do you go through a publisher?
Self-published.
Okay. So how does that work? When you self-publish, like, do you pay to like have it sent somewhere? Is that what self-published means? Because I hear people say that, but I never know what that meant.
All right. So I'm going to say in all transparency, I'm self-published, but I'm not self-published. Let me explain.
Okay.
Like I said, it took me some time to say I was an author.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I was like, I'm not an author because I associated author with writing like books like Zane or Sister Soldier. And I'm like, I'm not telling a story. I'm not an author. Like, what do you mean? And I was like, besides, this is just a journal. Like, I don't understand. This is not like a read, right?
Yeah.
So what happened was God knew, right? Most High, he knows me. Like when they say he know you.
Yeah.
And he know I don't like to do a lot of things. I love to do this, right? Yeah. Like I can meet and talk to you and we can talk for hours, or I can get with the woman and we can talk, or I can get in front of a group of women and I can speak and I want to do that.
Yeah.
So I used to say and manifest, God, send me somebody that's, because I don't know. I don't want to do it. I want to get before the people and speak and sign my check. That's all I want to do. I don't want to do anything else.
Yeah.
I went to college with a girl who self-published a college textbook.
Okay.
So when it was time for me to publish and edit my book, I said, hey, how you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Would you mind looking this over for me? And she said, because I asked the divine, she said, absolutely.
Yeah.
So all I did was email it to her. When I tell you she took care of me and did everything else.
Wow.
Everything else. She said, send me your bank where you want your money to go.
Really?
Send me your social security number and your EIN number for your business. And before I knew it, I was getting royalty checks.
Look at that.
I didn't align it. She did everything.
Yeah.
So when I say self-published, self-published because I'm not under a publishing company.
Yeah. Okay.
But I didn't self-publish it. My editor published it for me. So I don't know. That's horrible to say.
No, that's
transparent. People be like, yeah, when you self-publish, well, tell me how do I be like?
That's when you give them her number and email and say, you can contact her.
Be like, girl, I don't know. I have no clue.
Because I know someone who did three of my friends wrote books and they did it through Amazon.
Yes, she did it through Amazon. I'm on Amazon.
Okay, Amazon Publishing or whatever
it's
called, and you just when somebody orders a book, Amazon publishes it and then sends it.
They print it and send it out.
Yeah. Okay, because
but there's a process where your friends, they have to upload the pages and align them, and they got to decide how they want it to look. And I didn't do any of that.
Oh, see, yeah.
Right. See,
that's a whole nother thing that you just the tedious part who wants to do that?
And I knew I didn't. I don't want to do it.
Not your thing. Yeah.
She loves it. So I allow people to live in their creativity.
Yeah. Because that would be me. I'll be sitting there like, I don't know. Is it straight?
See,
moving the thing. Then I'll be like, I'll finish this later.
Right. And then I wouldn't do it.
Never would.
God knew. So.
And have people asking, I thought you said you finished that book. I'll be like, I did.
I finished writing it.
Yeah. If you want to go on my Amazon account, you can fix the rest for me.
So yeah, I'm a self-publisher, but I don't know the self-publishing process. And I'm going to continue to speak that, continue to send me someone to do it for me, because I don't even want to learn it. I want to be in control of my money.
Yeah.
That's why I wear green.
All right, now.
Be in control of my money.
I hear that.
All that other stuff, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, so your next book is going to be out in June?
Yes, ma'am. I'm pushing for June because she has it, as long as I don't have to do too many edits and things of that nature. So it should be out maybe middle June. And I'm really, really speaking into existence that I do a book tour.
Okay.
I want to do a book tour this year.
Yeah.
So that's on the table as well. I'm willing to come just about anywhere.
Well, listen, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I don't remember whose show it was, but this woman did a book tour at all Black owned bookstores.
Me too.
Yep.
I have a list from New York to Virginia. Yes, this is just confirmation for me that I'm supposed to do this book tour.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for that. I'm very excited.
You're welcome.
I would really love to do it in person, but I'll start out virtual.
Yeah. Well, This was such a great conversation. I'm glad that we touched on all the different facets of you, because there's a lot that is so interesting, but it's very informative. So I feel like even though you have so many different things that you're doing, they all tie into each other.
Yeah.
Which really works. So I'm excited to dive into this book. I am going to do it.
Start in the back.
Well, I've been thinking about that first question though. So I have to, I feel like that's the hump, like you going up.
Okay.
So I feel like looking at the rest of them, that was the one that was going to take me the longest. So
right.
I'm going to start with that one. And then, talk about it with my therapist.
Yeah. Tell your therapist to call me.
So I'll be done by June.
Yes.
So then I could get into part two. Have you back on the podcast to talk about the second book.
Yeah.
And hopefully talk about your book tour.
Talk about my book tour. Yes.
Yeah. So reach out. Also, definitely.
I am here. If you need me, if you need some assistance with I tell people all the time, reach out to me if you like, Dira, I don't really understand this question. I need some help. Can you walk me through? Reach out to me. I am here. Email me. We can Instagram, video chat, whatever it is you need. I am here for all your needs.
That sounds good to me.
Okay.
Sounds
just
good.
Put that out there. You are not alone while you're doing your read. I am here.
That works.
Okay.
And if you guys have not already, go get the book. It's all about the read. You can get it on Dira's website or Amazon. I will link to her Instagram and her website. And all the different ways that you can get in contact with her. And Dira, thank you so much for taking the time tonight to have this discussion. I cannot wait just to see where your journey is going to go from here.
I appreciate you so very much. It was a complete honor to be here. I always don't take it lightly when anyone asks me, because time is precious. Right. Oh, I just want to say really quickly, truly is an honor, because you had my girl up here who I follow, shopping Target while Black.
Oh, yes, Marissa. Yes.
So I was like, oh my God, I get to be on the same podcast as her. So thank you so much for that, because I love her.
Me too. I know. She's amazing. And I can't wait to see where her journey takes her either, because she's got some big things coming up.
Really? I can't wait to see. Sometimes I can't. If she posts something, I was in Target today looking for some stuff that she done posted. I gotta scroll past her, child. I can't, because if she posted, I'm going to get it.
I know.
Be like, Dira, just because it's Black owned don't mean you gotta buy it. I'd be like,
I say, yes, I do.
Who said that? Yes, I do.
Exactly.
So I felt very honored to be on the same podcast as her right after. Thank you very much for that.
Well, thank you again for sitting with me tonight.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. And that's a wrap on another amazing episode. I know you were just as inspired as I was after hearing today's guest. And to let us know how we're doing, leave us a review, like, and subscribe to the podcast. You can also follow us on all social media platforms, from Facebook to YouTube at The Color of Influence, and on Instagram, the_color_of_influence. And our website is still the same, theblackgirlblogger.com, where you can check out all of our episodes as well. And don't forget to share the podcast with someone you know and have them share it with someone that they know. Thank you all for listening. Until next time, peace out.